this wasn't easy. The idea of selecting GTA characters that I don't like was difficult enough, but then trying to rank them based on qualities that I don't want to see was, again, quite challenging. Characters like Ryder and Eddie Pulaski will not make the list, as being an unredeemable asshole is okay as long as you eventually get to kill them. While being an annoying bastard, on the other hand, is never a good thing. Luckily, there's not too many of those. Slightly more common are characters that show up, have a very predictable outcome, and then essentially fulfill that outcome. You can't expect everybody to be interesting and well thought out, but the list has to get made somehow. Like I said, this list wasn't particularly easy, and honestly, I only take major issue with the top 3. And I do want to mention that I did not title this Side Characters. That's because technically playable characters weren't excluded, but spoiler, none of them make the list. I did consider Claude Speed, but in the end, I felt that was kind of unfair. That being said, here are the top 10 worst characters in GTA, which just so happen to be side characters.
You set us up. You always wanted to be the one, the man. You're a gimp, Johnny. A gimp and a fucking Judas.
What the fuck are you talking about, you ass-kissing little weasel?
We kick things off with a tale of predictability. It was already somewhat obvious that the Damned wasn't heading in a good direction considering the current leadership. But the extremely unlikable upon-sight character of Brian Jeremy makes this plot direction way too obvious.
I knew you'd say that. Just knew you'd say that. You're so predictable, Johnny Little Dickowitz.
I mean, he spends most of the game sucking up to his boss that Johnny clearly doesn't get along with, so what do you expect? There's no other reason for him to exist. From the moment we first see him speak, we know exactly what's gonna happen. And spoiler, he's not the only villain character on this list for the exact same reason. And that's gonna make discussing these somewhat difficult. As far as him being an asshole, that's okay, because get this, he betrays you.
Shocking.
Then you're given a chance to kill him. And if for some reason you don't, you're given another chance to kill him via a random encounter. So at the end of the day, I can't rank this too high. The game is quite short, can't expect anything too amazing. But like I said, there's not that many characters I don't like, so it is what it is.
That guy was too pathetic to kill. He's already dead anyway.
Hey, yo, what about his blender? It's really good. It's sort of works.
Man, what the fuck? That's Miles' blender.
This one's debatable, but I really can't stand Sweet. I get it, he's supposed to be the annoying brother that criticizes everything you do, but in this case, it's taken a bit too far. Unlike Ryder, who's a giant douche, and Big Smoke, who's easily the most interesting, Sweet spends a good amount of the early game bitching at CJ.
That's another funeral you ran away from, fool. Just like Brian's.
Now, I'm okay with this if there is a reason for it, but in this case, it's taken one step too far. After spending most of the game in prison and finally getting out, thanks to CJ, he tells him, fuck the casino, fuck the garage in San Fierro, fuck whatever CJ's accomplished, and continue to complain about him not being loyal and up to the hood.
That's everybody's dream to get out the hood.
Man, you sound just like Smoke right now.
Look, I'm fine with him feeling that way, but to constantly complain that CJ doesn't want that kind of life, and to refuse to see somebody else's point of view despite him being the reason he isn't in prison, is really obnoxious. Not to mention, he kind of treats his sister like he owns her.
I'm tired of you not listening to me, girl.
And I'm tired of you acting like you own me. I can see who I want to see.
And sends CJ to spy on them. I said it once and I'll say it again, this hasn't aged well. I just really don't like Sweet.
You never did get it, did you, Carl? I need to go check on things in the hood. Man, that's the problem. You always a perpetrator, running from what's real.
forget. People will remember soon enough. When they see him walking down the streets of their neighborhoods, it will be bad for business.
Well, what are we gonna do, Sonny?
We treat him like...
This one may be controversial, but when you really think about it, what does Sonny do? I mean, yeah, he's the main antagonist, but compared to the GTA 3 antagonist, who I ranked quite high, and the San Andreas one that I ranked even higher, Sonny is kind of a letdown. He's only in the first and the last mission, apart from a few phone calls, and doesn't really have any interesting traits about him.
You better be kidding me, Tommy! Tell me you still got the money!
No, Sonny. I don't have the money.
That was my money, Tommy! My money!
Oddly enough, I didn't think Vice City was gonna make the list at all, but then when I really thought about it, no other GTA game, apart from Liberty City Stories, has a less interesting main villain. Not that this game really needs one, and I've never given it that much thought in the past, but this is a list of the worst characters, and I feel that Sonny is a fair inclusion. Then again, this game was imitating Scarface, and I don't think that movie had a main antagonist either, so maybe that's the problem.
I hoped you'd see sense. He was good for business. I trusted you, Tommy, and you disappointed me.
This is my town, Tony! My town! You ain't taking it away from me! I'm gonna enjoy this.
Okay, now things are about to get tedious as the next few positions are all kind of similar. Vincenzo is another antagonist, not the main one, who makes the list because he's not remotely interesting and his fate is way too obvious.
So the police were watching the car. Screw the police! When I tell you to do something, you do it! Capiche?
He supplies the game's first mission strand, betrays you at the end of it, pretends he's gonna apologize, and tries to kill you. In which you kill him.
Positively shocking.
His death is at least unique, thus being the reason he's not any higher, but unfortunately the positives end there. And since this is the only game to not have a main villain, it's all the more disappointing. But there's no denying the fact that there wasn't an attempt to even make him stand out. Apart from the chainsaw-themed ending.
Hey, who loves you, Angel?
You do, Vinny.
Is that your mother on the phone?
Sure.
You're disgusting. Where's your respect?
Why don't you say so, boy? I'm Marty J Williams.
I was too busy watching you threaten your wife.
Well, we was only playing around, boy.
And the similarities continue with Marty J Williams, who, guess what, is another dick.
Terribly ingenious, highly imaginative, incredibly inventive.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing of an unredeemable character going down the same predictable path. The only difference is his demise isn't interesting in the slightest, putting him one spot higher. He's only in the game so we can abuse Louise, your future love interest, allowing you to inevitably save her. And that doesn't change the fact that, yet again, there's nothing interesting about him.
Why would I employ a dog, then bark myself? Go sick 'em, pal.
If you want to know how to do this kind of thing right, look at Ryder from San Andreas. He was a dick, as we've mentioned many times, but he was also kind of your friend, so his betrayal wasn't guaranteed. So, when him and Big Smoke did betray you, it all fit in quite nicely, resulting in one of the game's best moments. While Marty J Williams' inclusion didn't lead to any of the game's good moments. It was merely a means to an end.
We're going into the whoring business. We're gonna take over place up yonder. Once we're in, it's party time. Yes, sirree, boy. I just got me an itch I need scratching.
I do have a slight problem. Something a little dumb muscle like yourself might be able to fix. Cause you see me, I'm intellectual.
And again, it's unfortunately the same shit. Another side villain, another predictable outcome. The only difference is, this time, he's fucking annoying. Jizzy B is outright unpleasant to hear speak, and is not remotely comedic in the slightest.
What you think? What you and Mike think? I'm just a pretty face to y'all? Is that y'all game?
I understand that that's the idea, but again, he's just not memorable. Killing him is definitely a good time, and it is fun watching him beg, but I wouldn't call it anything new.
Come on, baby.
Ass selling, yay pushing, piece of shit trash.
I apologize for the similarities, I'm just not a fan of this kind of thing. And I'll admit it, I've run out of things to say. At least now we can move on to something a bit different.
Worried? Did I say I was worried? No, I did not. Now to the real deal.
Tell you what, my boy, you tell me exactly what you want, and I will very carefully explain to you why it cannot be. What? Today is...
What a piece of shit. There are a lot of assholes that reside in this game, but none quite as bad as the fucking car salesman. First off, as mentioned, he's a car salesman, and the only thing outdoing that is a politician. And after rewarding Franklin Employee of the Month, he sends him off to sneak into Michael's house before they officially meet to retrieve a vehicle. But Michael saw this event coming, explains that Simon was lying and is running credit fraud, and thankfully makes him drive into the building. After that, you get the pleasure of beating him up, and if that had been the end of it, I'd be perfectly satisfied. The problem is, he then calls Franklin up and fires him because he wouldn't take the bullet.
No loyalty, no integrity. You should have taken the bullet. My business, my totally legitimate business.
Now, I know what you're thinking, and you're right, this would be okay. But the problem is, they forgot to add the part when you get to kill him. The fact that this piece of shit is currently not deceased is outright insulting. Technically, you can kill him in a random encounter, but it's clearly not considered canon as he still posts Life Invader messages. Again, insulting.
You're a racist.
What?
You don't like me because you think that I am an Arab.
What? No. What are you talking about?
Excuse. They were only a decoy. Sorry about that, but that's sometimes the way in business.
This one is gonna surprise people the most. See, the time has come for the thing that I really can't stand. When you take a perfectly good character, create another perfectly good character, and make them the same character. It's baffling because Donald Love was one of my favorites from GTA 3. But the reason he couldn't be on my top 10 list is because they completely changed him in the prequel game for absolutely no reason. In GTA 3, he's unique, businesslike, somewhat mysterious. In Liberty City Stories, he's more like Ken Rosenberg, which is great, but why not just make him somebody else? I understand that most people didn't return for this game, apart from Frank Vincent as Salvatore Leone, but that doesn't excuse the fact that they didn't even try.
Nothing drives down real estate prices like a good old-fashioned gang war, apart from an outbreak of plague, but that might be going too far in this case.
It really is a shame, but when you have so few bad characters to begin with, this kind of thing is gonna go pretty far. In the wrong direction.
Gone! Bankrupt! Done! Arrivederci! Bankrupt!
Brucey's a dreamer. He understands my vision.
Oh, so he's an idiot.
Hey!
Screw you.
First off, I wasn't a huge fan of him to begin with. He was okay, just not my favorite. But then, in the Ballad of Gay Tony, they decided to introduce his brother Maury, and reduce Brucey to a pathetic fool. Just because, I guess.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
You do realize people really liked him, don't you? Who did you think this was gonna win over? This didn't just happen like Donald Love, this was a decision. They thought this was a good idea, a good means of character development.
Screw you, Maury! Why you gotta be such a cock?
On the bright side, Maury eventually gets what he deserves, but the problem is it was an accident, so it doesn't fix Brucey's character. Nope, despite the Ballad of Gay Tony being my favorite game with GTA 4 on it, this is easily the game's biggest fuck-up. But I suppose that's not really saying that much.
The Marshmallow Man. More. This pale piece of turd.
All right, cut it out,
And it's nothing but beyond pathetic.
That's it, boy!
From this point on, we're through. I've called a hit on you. It's really the only way, I tell you.
What? Ma?
I've got a message from Officer Tenpenny. Don't try and leave town. That would be a big mistake. You hear me? We're watching you.
Whatever you say, bitch.
Yes,
Oh! Hey, enough of that shit!
Something like this. Hey yo, when I come through up in the place, you don't want me to come with a gun in your face. I spit it hotter than anybody in the world could do.
That
It's
shit
like
sucks. Damn.
Fucking hell, I hate OG Loke. This guy is so fucking annoying. I despise, resent any cutscene he's in. He never shuts the hell up. His singing is insulting on the ears, which the game points out, and for some reason, he's portrayed as your friend for the first part of the game. And he's so fucking arrogant.
all my real gangster niggas, all my gangster bitches. Speaking about gangster, look at my man CJ right there. CJ.
And if all that wasn't bad enough, his storyline makes no fucking sense. In the early part of the game, he has you stealing Mad Dog's rhyme book and killing his manager. Then, way later on, you find Mad Dog about to commit suicide as a result, save him, and become his new manager, never revealing that you're the reason for this. The problem is, you and Mad Dog eventually steal the rhyme book back, and OG Loke never points out the fact that you're the one who stole it in the first place. How the fuck is that?
That's fucking stupid!
And if that wasn't bad enough, you don't even get to kill him. What the fuck were they thinking? Who thought that was a good idea? I may dislike some characters, feel that some were handled very poorly, but OG Loke is the only one that I really fucking hate.
Man, get out of here. Don't be pushing me! Don't be pushing me!
So, there you have it. The top 10 GTA characters that I don't like that much. Honestly, I can't say I really enjoyed making this list, as there's not that many bad characters, as I keep saying. But in the end, I guess you gotta get the negativity in somewhere. And I'm guessing at the least, the second and third positions are gonna be heavily disagreed with. If so, let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you. For now, I'm the Game Analyst, and don't forget, if you hire somebody to destroy somebody else's career, don't let them blame it all on you. What? You're actually here? That's fucking amazing. I guess you may as well check out the main channel, in which I discuss movies, TV series, and the offensive topics that lie within. If that interests you, then press the link in the description. It's right there.